His range would be right down through that arid coast of Mexico and right down into Peru. So this is why I've given them all Spanish names. We have Amigo, we have a Hector, and we have a Juanita. Now have a look when he flies, everyone. He does have a large white patch to the base of his tail.
Oh my God!
This is used as a communication aid by the hawks in the deserts of America when they're hunting. When he's found something to hunt, everyone, and that could be anything from a rabbit-sized mammal, anything down through the range of rodents. They do catch a lot of quail in the American desert, I believe. A number of snakes in their diet also. This white patch will be flashed around the desert floor from the top of the cactus, everyone, and that's telling all the other pack members, hey, come and help me, I found something to hunt. Now, once he's started to gather to where the hawk is flashing the tail, everyone, and there's no more standing room, usually this is when the rest of the pack members are usually run through the scrub of the desert floor, and they'll be the ones that are flushing out the game for all the harrisocks that are stood on the cactus. This is how the harrisocks do work as a team, everyone. And quite often I'm asked by the youngsters in the audience, hey Andy, a little bit like the velociraptors. Well, exactly the same as the velociraptors. These guys working in a team, everyone. Let's not forget that the what's left over of the dinosaurs is anything that lays an egg. He is a little dinosaur, and he could be the direct descendant of the velociraptor. Who actually knows? Now, they've gained a lot of popularity amongst falconers, everyone, especially around Europe and lots of other places since about the 1970s. And the reason for that, everyone, is because of this gregariousness. This allows the falconer to hopefully fly more than one harrisock at one time, everyone. And I can fly hopefully up to around 4 harrisocks in the winter time. I'm hoping when the guests stop arriving at Dunrobin and the castle's closed, to be able to take up to around 4 people on a falconry introduction day. And by them coming along, everyone, and me using harrisocks, we could have a hawk like Amigo each, the glove, the bag, the meat, and we could go for a hawk walk through the back of the woods of Dunrobin, and we could be gone for an hour, maybe an hour and a quarter. I am quite often asked though, everyone, Andy, could we go for a hunting day instead of a hawk walk? And all we'd have to do that, everyone, is take along the dog with us. The dog will be helping us find and flush the full-grown rabbits and cock pheasants. Now, I'm hoping for you to notice that the hawks, everyone, the hawks can fly at 45 miles per hour, just like a short dashing sprinter. Rabbits, everyone, they can run at the speed of 35 miles per hour, so the hawk does have the slight advantage. I do have a hunting scenario set up for you here today, and at the base of this T-perch, everyone, I have a tube with a pretend rabbit in it. There's a young man in the audience who's agreed to help me with this demonstration today, and his name is Daniel. So Daniel, if you'd like to come and join me, buddy. Okay, I'm going to stand on the edge of the lawn, everyone, and in a few short moments, Daniel is about to attempt to run down Dunrobin Lawn at 35 miles per hour. In the hope to show you all how we would catch a rabbit in the winter time. Daniel, on your mark, get set, go as fast as you can, buddy. Excellent, give Daniel a big round of applause. Brilliant, what a great sport, Daniel. Let's give him another round. So once we've managed to catch a rabbit like this in the winter time, everyone, the next thing I have to do is to try and exchange that large rabbit for a much smaller amount of food that the hawk can eat right away. And once I've managed to distract him, everyone, I'm hoping then to hide the rabbit and release the hawk back into the tree after a much smaller amount of food. We could carry on hunting with Amigo, usually for about an hour and a half, and in that time, everyone, I can quite easily catch 4 or 5 rabbits and 4 or 5 pheasants. This is why, everyone, I'd like you to know that the hawk was always known as the chef's bird in the history of falconry, and the next bird after that will be a falcon in complete contrast. So let's bring Amigo a bit closer to the crowd, and we'll talk a little bit more about the use of the hawk within the subject of falconry. Once I've managed to exchange the smaller amount of food with the large rabbit, everyone, you'll see that Amigo is concentrating on this and he's utilising his wings to make sure, just instinctively, no other predators can see exactly what he's caught. Now, also, I hope for you to notice, everyone, Amigo is eating rather quickly, and there is a reason. I'd like you to be aware, everyone, that hawks and falcons do have a special part to their digestion system, and it is called a crop. Now, that is a special bag which is below the beak but on top of the chest. You'll notice after he's plucked this, you'll be eating this in one large lump. And by doing so, everyone, he's storing the food in this crop area, this special bag, and this in the wild would enable him to, if he was to catch something such as a rabbit-sized mammal that he could not fly away with, everyone, but if he was compromised then in the desert by a coyote or a desert fox, he would have to leave the carcass on the floor. And hopefully by storing enough food in this crop area, if he did have to do that, everyone, he should have enough food stored to give him enough energy to at least go hunting again tomorrow and leave the carcass to the coyote or the desert fox instead of having a fight and being hurt. But it was our ancestors that noticed this about the hawks and falcons, everyone, and right back to the 4th century were the first writings of falconry. Nobody really knows where it started, but it did travel down the silk routes and the trade routes. It ended up here in Europe to become the most popular subject to be talked about in the alehouses of the day, right before the invention of the gun. And even though we associate falconry, everyone, with royalty and nobility right here in the British Isles and throughout Europe, I'd like you to know any working class man who had the knowledge of falconry was allowed to trap and train a wild hawk from the woods for the purpose of gathering game for his family. Now, they were not allowed to have the falcons, and their title was only to be known as oar stringers. Oar stringers are only flyers of hawks. But if you can imagine, everyone, falconry at the time, before the invention of the gun, through the common man and talking verbally, was more spoken about then in the alehouses than even football is spoken about today in the bars and the pubs. Because, everyone, if you had that knowledge and you would be allowed to trap and train a wild hawk in only 4 weeks from that trap day, everyone, there is no reason why you should not be putting large amounts of game on the table for your family if you could only get an hour and a half to go wandering through the woods. And this is why it became such a widely known subject. But, everyone, in places like Dunrobin Castle, they would have employed, say, up to 5 or 6 falconers. Once they've gathered enough food in the mornings, hopefully, to make sure there's enough food coming through the kitchens to feed all the staff and all the people that lived in that large house, the falcons would be got ready for the master of the house. Let's not forget there was no TV then. This form of hunting was high drama, a very visual spectacle on the hill. So the next bird that I do have to fly for you here today is a gyr falcon. In complete contrast, if you give me a moment, we'll get the falcon ready for you next. And they are the largest species of falcon in the world. We have pure white gyr falcons from Siberia, jet black gyr falcons from Labrador in Canada. We have a a grey face from Iceland, and also Alba here is a Greenland phase, everyone, white with black speckles. In Alaska, there's another white phase with silver speckles. So, as they circumnavigate the globe, they do slightly change in colour to match into the environment. And the main form of food for the gyr falcon on the tundra is a form of grouse called ptarmigan. Now, I'd like you to be aware that falcons hunt in a completely different way to the hawks, everyone. Falcons are not low-level hunters or sprinters. They are masters of the sky, and they predominantly hunt other birds only, so avian bird catching specialists from the sky at super high speeds. Now, she will not consider herself in a worthy hunting position until she's at least 500 or 600 feet in the sky, and from there spying a bird below everyone. When she wants to hunt, she will be falling from the sky and utilising her whole body just like a missile. As she falls from the sky at high speeds, the two wings will be kept up by her side, and let's have a look. The physique is completely different to the hawks. Long pointy wings, everyone, and the legs quite short and stumpy also. They'll be tucked under her plumage for streamliness, and as she falls from the sky gathering speed, everyone, she'll be utilising the tail just like a ship's rudder to guide herself like a missile towards the bird she's hunting. Now, the peregrine falcon has been timed in the dive or the stoop, everyone, at the top speed of 242 miles per hour in the dive. The gerfalcon is not far behind. Have a look on the internet, it's under Frightful the Falcon. As she gets close to the bird she's hunting, everyone, this is when she'll be going around 200 miles per hour plus, and out from under the undercarriage come the two short stumpy legs, both fists clenched just like a boxer, everyone. As she flashes by like a missile, she is delivering a very accurate high impact blow with the back of both of her clenched fists. Now, when I go hunting with Alba in the winter time, they're falling from the sky at around 1,000 feet, 800, travelling at 200 miles an hour. Her body weight is 3 pounds, everyone. Do the maths. If she gets an accurate correct connection with a bird to its head with her feet, it usually kills it outright in the stoop. This is when I hear a whack and the game bird falls stone dead to the floor. When I look at the carcass, everyone, the skull is usually completely flattened. So taking out the central nervous system in one quick accurate blow is the trait of how a falcon hunts. I'm hoping you get the idea. The next biggest question before we get Alba in the air, everyone, and Alba does mean white in Scottish Gaelic. The next biggest question is, Andy, why is Alba wearing a leather crash helmet? It's called a hood, everyone. It's the most important tool a falcon has at his disposal. It was devised by our ancestors thousands of years ago, and I do believe it was brought to Europe by Emperor Frederick, a Holy Roman Emperor, a German Holy Roman Emperor in 1250. He was friends with Arabic falconers and brought it across to Sicily in 1250. Now, as I say, in those days, it was enabling the hawks and falcons to travel on horseback without being upset by the horses. Even now, today, everyone, we still use the hood because even though I don't go on horseback, I travel in a modern vehicle, and the falcon does not understand glass. If she was to see a bird through the vehicle in hunting condition, she'd think the hood was on, be breaking all the lovely primary feathers up against the glass and getting herself in a state. I also use it when I go to a school, everyone, doing a talk for the children. If they come bursting out the classroom towards me, quite often Alba will look at me with her eyes bulging as if to say, "Oh my God, get me out of here." I can just place the hood on for a few short moments until they calm down and we're all good. This is the use of the hood. Now, the next thing I'm going to tell you before we get in the air is I'm using a lure with the falcon, everyone. It's a piece of leather with some meat tied to it. It's what I use to retrieve the falcon when we're hunting, because she could be more than 2 kilometres away. After flushing game from underneath her, if she was to not catch it, everyone, I just swing the lure and the falcon will return to me almost immediately. But at this time of year, it is illegal for me to go hunting, so I'm playing a chase game with the lure, everyone, which is a form of fitness for the falcon when we're not allowed to go hunting. But for health and safety, I have to warn you, she will be coming right through the crowd at high speed, all around you, everyone. Please try to keep track of her. If you were to walk in front of her by accident and she's on her flight path going 70 miles per hour, 3 pounds in body weight, you could be hurt quite badly. So I have to mention that for health and safety. Okay, let's get on with the flying. everyone.
Shoot.
У нас во дворе они так летают.
I'm not going to keep this up forever, everyone.